Hi, folks. Welcome to a very special edition of Diplomacy Academy. On Memorial Day weekend, David Hood ran virtual Dixiecon, an event that had 80 players from all over the world participating in 20 games of diplomacy in one day. There were 11 boards in the morning and 9 in the evening. The game that follows comes from the evening round. I had to drop out a little bit after midnight, but thankfully we had a special guest come in to finish up the broadcast. I'm Chris Martin, and I'll stab you soon.
And we are back. Dun dun dun. Theme music, crowd goes wild. Woo! Welcome everyone to part 2 of our coverage of Dixiecon 2020. In the first corner, we have Chris Martin getting his dukes ready to punch the lights out of these poor little people playing diplomacy. Chris is a former world champion, former president of the North American Diplomacy Federation, and is currently the owner and author of content on Diplomacy Academy. Chris, tell us about yourself.
I am just a humble child of Nebraska. I grew up as a son of an academic, and I aspired to nothing more than to be able to help people understand how to better communicate with each other through the game of diplomacy. And that's what I've done, I hope. At the end of my time on this earth, if my gravestone reads, "He died trying to help people take Belgium," then I will be nothing but satisfied.
And we're all glad that you're now doing it on YouTube rather than teaching people lessons the hard way.
I think that everybody is happier this way, yes, indeed.
We do miss you on the board, Chris, and we're glad to see it when it happens. In the other corner, we have Siobhan Nolan, who is the current North American Diplomacy Federation president, multiple tournament winner. And tell us about yourself, Siobhan.
Yeah, so unlike Chris, I'm not quite so humble. Which is, as is our style, as we know. I've been in this hobby for over half of my life. I love this game. I think it brings a really amazing set of people together, and I'm really loving what we're seeing in these crazy, crazy times, and going online has done a lot for us, and we've learned a lot of lessons. So let's keep it going.
And I am Brandon Fogel. I am one of the organizers of the Chicago Diplomacy Club, the Windy City Weasels. And I have not won anything on the tour circuit, although I'm part of the second place club, along with, Nathan Barnes, Peter Jurgen, and Matt Shields. All right, we can have a party.
Adam Siegel, I think.
No, Matt Shields won Big Sky. Come on.
Oh, I was talking about the big ones, DipCon and World. So, anyways, and Matt Shields is in that club, right? After last year.
Yeah, we can pull him up on WDD, but I think so.
All right, enough about us. We've got a tournament going. If you were with us this morning, we followed 11 games, and this thing we're following 9 games. And without further ado, let us look at something. There we go. We have, we've got 9 games, all with a number and a letter and a name that we don't necessarily know the origin of, but they are all something to do with North Carolina, right?
Yep.
Including Michael Jordan down at 2H. Okay, let's dive right into the first board, 2A, Vale of Humility. In Austria, we've got Greg Geyer. England, Kirk Vaughn. France, Claes de Graaf, who is a European player. Germany is Maxim Popov. Italy, Claude Worrell. Hope I'm saying that right. Russia, our very own Bill Hackenbracht. And Turkey, Steve Hogue. And let us have a look at Spring 1901 moves. And Siobhan, what pops out to you about this board to start off?
I mean, I suppose we've got a little bit of a reverse sunstorm happening in the east, with Russia going to Armenia instead of Turkey.
So, agreed on destruction of the southern Russian fleet.
Yeah, that's a choice, Bill.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, the hold of the 2 Turkish units is a little unusual. The bounce in Burgundy
Southbound.
The southbounds in Burgundy on France's part, not that unusual. I've seen it before. Usually then just takes Spain with the army, takes Portugal with the fleet, as long as nobody's messing around in the English Channel or Piedmont, which they're not. So,
which is unusual for the tournament so far. I think we had 7 or 8 of 11 in round 1. England's open to the Channel.
I think that sounds about right. Yeah.
So this sort of setup in RT, you see this from time to time, but it's almost always with Turkey going to the Black Sea and Smyrna going to Ankh, and then blowing up the fleet that way. If this is arranged, it's an extremely Russia-friendly way to do this.
Which, well done on Bill's part, if that's the case.
Yeah,
so,
and also on Steve's part, right? Yeah. How you would have let Turkey into the Black Sea with that destruction? Yeah, no, this is the only way that works, right?
I can't see Bill agreeing to it.
But isn't this very slow for Turkey? He gets the benefit of not having the Russian fleet behind him, but he's got no hope of he's not even going to be able to have a unit in Khan to protect Bull and move to Aegean or Eastern Med.
Yeah, but for Turkey, trade-offs, right? Long term, how much tempo will you give up to never have to worry about Russia being in the Black Sea?
I mean,
on the other hand, sometimes you want Russia in the Black Sea, but once that goes, let's see, so fall, he pops that fleet with sports army over, right? Then he's able to, put his fleet down in Smyrna, come on out. Theoretically, Russia supports him to hold from Romania, and Bob's your uncle, man. You put your own fleet in the Black Sea as Turkey, and now that's the unit that's supporting Bulgaria, and that support will never be cut. Yeah, it's slow, but man, when it works, so good.
But if Turkey's just going to go to the Black Sea in 2002 anyway, why not make this part of the deal in 2001?
Because the ability for Turkey to convoy to Sev is
way too tempting,
right?
Fair enough. All right. Elsewhere, we have Italy moving to Naples instead of Apulia, which we've seen this before, and there's just really there's no benefit to being in Naples here versus Apulia.
Yeah, that's
right. And a possible detriment, because if you end up not getting the convoy or you move the fleet, you take Tunis with the fleet and forget to move the army, then you don't have Naples open for a fleet build. Okay, let's see what happens in the fall of 1901 here, shall we?
Matt Shields was not correct in the comments. He said, if I'm Austria, I think I offer Italy Trieste to get him to go straight to the Aegean because it cannot be stopped.
Yeah,
Yep. But that's the thing, right? The slowdown in RT tempo. If AI were to take advantage of that, it would be very, very hard for Turkey to recover.
This is where I would absolutely have formed an AI, and it's clear to me that they didn't.
Yeah. This is a real problem for Austria, in my opinion. Boy, how many bounces of an English convoy in Belgium have we seen today?
Not that many. I haven't seen that many tried, right?
I thought we saw. We've seen a bunch into Holland, actually. We
saw more into Holland, yeah.
And all right, the Italian convoys to Tunis.
Yeah. So okay, bounce in Belgium. Russia gets Sweden. England takes Norway with the fleet. All very dull. The pith of the Russian fleet, as expected.
So Russia gets 2 builds plus a rebuild here.
Oh,
he takes Sweden. This is a so talk to us. So Chris, give us an analysis of how good this is for Russia.
Well, Russia gets the bonus of putting 3 new units down. Almost certainly, Army Warsaw, Fleet St. Pete, North Coast, and then deciding whether to build Army Moscow or Wave, right? And has to trade off looks really alarmingly big, even though they're really only at 6, but they're building 3, and that can draw some focus.
Yeah.
But given the alliance structure or lack thereof, the conflict between England and Germany, and France not coordinating with anyone, this is a great opportunity for Russia to try and make a real strong push north.
Mm-hmm.
And you think in the northern fleet, North Coast is better than the South Coast because there's more purchase on Norway than there is against German dots.
Yeah, if Russia was in any way kind of signaling that he was going to work with Austria, then South Coast. But because he goes to Galicia, he's signaling that he's angling for Budapest. He's angling for Serbia. He's clearly locked in with Turkey, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a German who is brand new to the game and only 16 years old and might not pick up on what's going on all the way over there in Armenia or understand the context of it is ripe for being taken advantage of, possibly. But Maxim played a great game in round one, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, by taking advantage of, you mean being talked into helping Russia here, rather, even though
the North Sea, saying, "Hey, I'll go Sweden to Norway if you'll just tap the North Sea here," and him going, "Oh yeah, that's a great deal for me," and that's those kinds of things where he doesn't really. If you haven't played enough games, like this is a pretty boutique RT. You think we'd all agree? You don't see this too often. This is less common than Aquila Ponto. And we haven't seen a single one of those today.
We saw one that might have been, but Italy didn't.
We saw the blue water variant, but...
So it's not at all, it would not surprise me to see a newer player like Maxim not understand what was being accomplished by that southern fleet being destroyed.
Yeah.
And Bill, both of you guys know Bill pretty well. You think he has the diplomatic skill to pull something like that off? Yeah,
Bill is a solid tier 2 player. He'll make the top table and he's just happy to be there. No, I'm sorry, that's mean to Bill.
No. I was going to let you go with that for as long as you wanted to. Bill, so I've already texted Bill to let him know what time stamp to look at this.
He doesn't have to watch long.
Bill, for those of you who haven't heard every single word we said today, Bill has made 2 consecutive top boards at Worlds. So clearly in the mix for these big titles. Yes, hasn't won one yet. So, okay, so this is looking pretty good for Bill Hackenbracht. We will look at builds and then... So we have Turkey with the fleet in Smyrna.
Okay.
And the army. So he's clearly making a bet that he's going to try to slow things down.
Wait. Oh, wow.
Oh, no fleet up here, yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Super friendly, and then fleet Liverpool. Wow. And that's Bill leading the board.
I think Bill has been altogether too charming in this, as he can be. And
well, the Army Moscow, right? I mean, this seems like a unit he just doesn't need in the south, unless he's worried about Turkey.
Warsaw supports Galicia hold. Moscow to Ukraine.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you get kicked out of Galicia. Right? Sev supports from. Now that entire front is locked down, and once it's in Ukraine, Warsaw can then transit Silesia, Bohemia. Or you can be clever about it, right, to get the unit moved over for that extra attacker. If you think the North is held with diplomacy here, boom, your armies are now locked in.
Fleet Liverpool, fleet
you don't need to be in the Black Sea, right?
Oh, no, you don't.
Well, maybe you do, actually.
Well, eventually.
Bulgaria can be lost right here. Yeah? Even with Romania supporting it to hold.
And if Bulgaria goes, then Romania can go as well.
Yep. That's right. And so you definitely, Ankara goes to the Black Sea, Smyrna goes to the Aegean, Armenia goes to Ankh. And if Bulgaria has to retreat, it retreats to Khan, and then you've got some guesses.
Here's what happened. It went north anyway.
And Austria goes with him.
Yes.
Wow, look at this. 1,
Everybody
2, 3, 4. On the line. Just like that.
And even Turkey and Armenia is just like, nope, going that way. Let me follow you guys.
Who says the stalemate line is for the end game? This is 1902.
Wow.
What? All right, it's definitely not an ART, right? Because we've got Austria helping
Italy into the Aegean.
And it's not really an AIR because Serbia is walking away from Turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think Budapest would come down here, right? If it was that sort of thing.
Maybe, but maybe Serbia just doesn't leave. Maybe Budapest and Serbia bounce in Trieste.
Okay, so Austria is working with Italy, even just a little bit.
The Aegean, right? Which is
And Italy is walking away from Venice to go to Piedmont, just to go the other direction. Austria is working with Russia in the Tyrolia, Bohemia, Silesia, Prussia line. Russia is working with Turkey insofar as they're all just getting away. But Turkey and Italy are not working together.
So the thing that boggles my mind, and it's completely boggled here, you're Austria, Greg. I'm talking to you now, Greg. You've seen them blow up that southern Russian fleet. So you know Russia is never going to attack Turkey. And so that's why you work with Italy in the south, correctly. Good choices. But you decide not to take this opportunity to force Galicia and Bulgaria, or you've got so many. If you think Russia's doing this, you should laugh and attack him. Not join him, right? This is just like, wow.
Now, if you're Bill Hackenbracht, do you take Budapest here? Do you go with do you switch to an RT or?
It's never a switch.
It was always an RT.
Well,
I have a great Geyer in Austria, but I'm told that's not correct. Did Matt Shields come as a replacement?
Matt Shields. I'll check with David.
Player.
I'm not about that. That would
everything changes.
Yeah, that would alter everything here.
Yeah. I'll check on that.
It's still terrible. Matt, I love you. Don't do this.
Sweden to Baltic is interesting. In the West, he is trying to hold off France while seeing lots of things coming at him. But it feels a lot better about the German attack now that all these armies are on the German border. Okay, let's see what happens in the fall. Oh, wow. We didn't see this one coming, did we?
Oh, that poor Italian.
It's a rat.
Yeah.
It is. This was a magnificent feint that fooled us as much as And look at this. Italy sniffed it out, and it was countered properly by the rat.
Yep.
Well done, Steve Hogue, Bill Hackenbracht, and maybe not Greg Geyer.
Matt Shields.
Yeah.
Do we have confirmation on that?
Possibly Dan Pollock. This is the game I think that had 4 replacement players, maybe.
I'm just pinging David right now, and we'll figure it out that way because I don't know where the Google Doc is, and I don't care to look it up.
Good. All right. Well, this is a fun board.
Thank you, chat, for informing us that we had the wrong person. We are figuring it out, and we'll get that resolved as soon as possible.
How often do you guys see a functioning rat coming out of the gate? Let's talk about that.
Happens. Yeah, I wouldn't say it never happens.
The Western Triple is the most common 3-way alliance at the start of the game. Is the rat number 2?
Yeah. Yep. Or an air. Russia, Austria, Italy conspire to take down Turkey is probably more common.
I think I see an air more often than I see a rat. The rat has the problem where the Austria just gets so anxious that the only place Turkey has to go with any armies is through them.
And that usually develops after an AI stalls against an RT. Right? That's when you see a rat develop 1903, 1904, after they've kind of locked horns. And then somebody, they talk them into saying, okay, we got to switch sides and mix this up.
So who does this advantage at the moment of the 3 of them? Who is in the best position?
Never bad for Turkey.
Never bad for Turkey.
Turkey's very likely going to be able to force the Ionian next year. 1903, Turkish in the Ionian. Remember how the importance of no Russian fleet in Sev?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. DMZ in Serbia, which is, you go, Austria. But what do you do here? And if you're Italy, notice Italy tried to come back from Piedmont, Venice, right? Like you said, he kind of sniffed it out, but too little, too late, man. I think because you get a rebuild, and
he lost Venice.
Ionian, you lose Rome.
No, he does not have a rebuild. He lost Venice.
Oh yeah, fair. Wow. Oh yeah, he's dead. It's all over.
Yep.
Yeah, that's bad.
And Austria is going to have to do some work to not remain vulnerable for long enough to be enticing. I mean, he's got Rome automatically here, and presumably he builds an army in Trieste here and follows up there. But he's vulnerable on the backside. Yep.
So Austria is Dan Pollock, by the way. I just got
Austria is Dan Pollock.
Yeah, he's an alliance player.
Yeah, he really is.
And if you are going to take this chance as Austria, like, why not go all the way? I mean, this is just about as vulnerable as he could leave himself, and maximize his forward potential. So
yeah, go big or go home. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So let us. I will fix that name in a second. Look at the build.
Yeah.
Build in Vienna. That's a surprise.
Oof.
That may be a tactical error. I think you have to, because this is where you secure your future. Yeah.
Well, you walk down. Tyrolia goes to Venice, and it's a bounce, and you still own Rome, even if Ionian convoys back to Naples. So you're not gonna.
Well, no, you can't.
Suboptimal, but maybe he's thinking that he's going to get support into Munich, and he wants to follow up that.
Vale of humility.
Of humility.
Well, this is where you and I come from, Chris. All of that humility, it was instilled in us since our childhoods.
All right, let's keep up with the speed. I'm liking it. So This is the ART, the rat.
Oh, right.
Dan Pollock in Austria, and this is Bill Hackenbracht in Russia, and Turkey jumped on board as well.
Sure.
So who's up here? I believe, Matt, you're up. So spring 1903. Break it down.
1903, France coming hard into the Mediterranean. And England, that's interesting. England following up to the mid-Atlantic, which does not look like England. That does not look like an English stab. That looks like England trying to participate in this. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. Russia trying to push west, not having much luck. Romania going back to Ukraine is jumping out at me, and I'm trying to understand what that's about. Why are you not going to Galicia? I'm not certain. And Italy, Italy continues to be in a world of hurt.
Yeah, Venice takes Rome. Italy loses Ionian. They're setting up for a convoy onto the boot.
Yeah.
All right. Fall 1903. Siobhan, you're up.
There's the convoy onto the boot. We're letting Turkey keep Greece, which is okay. Fine. Because Austria, Rome tries to go to Tyrrhenian Sea. Good job, Army.
And it's Munich as well. So Austria gets a build.
Austria gets a build despite giving. Okay, so they're just trading some builds here. Fine. Rome to Ukraine now goes to Galicia. Tells me that might have been a missile last turn.
Wow.
So
that's like
England paralyzing France with the move to the Atlantic Ocean.
That apparently was not planned.
Yeah.
All right. France gets into Tunis.
France does walk into
Tunis.
Which is kind of amazing.
And Belgium. Hey, France gets two builds
France walks into Tunis and Belgium. England's going to apparently have a lot of explaining to do. England, don't go into the MAO with nothing to back it up if your intent is to help France without talking to them about it first.
All right.
That's rough. That's rough.
Builds 1903. Chris, break this down, and we'll take you into spring as well.
France didn't have any choice about these builds. This was kind of locked in for him. England says, you know what? I messed up, but guess what? I'm going to fight you about it anyway. Goes, screw all of y'all. I'm out. This is really kind of a pretty good argument for the rat here. The real damage is that Russia didn't get any builds. You slap one more fleet in St. Petersburg, and the three of them roll this board.
Yeah.
Before we move on, can we talk about Germany's disbands?
That's what I meant. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. I'm supporting Russia forward and then convoying them to England.
No matter what.
Delegate supports North convoy to Norway to Yorkshire. Oh no.
Oh no. Okay.
Fight than that.
Well, still cooperation between England and between Germany and Russia here.
Sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Interesting not to see Munich support this move, but I guess they figured it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, man.
Austria.
Go to Ruhr or go to Burgundy. It's just going back to the
Yeah.
Thank you, Brandon, for highlighting that.
This should tickle somebody's fancy.
Well, it's nice to see somebody be a little paranoid.
Or more aggressive.
Not with Dan Holding, right?
I haven't played with Dan Pollock for a number of years.
Dan Pollock.
I really want it to be aggressive, but my money is on some paranoia.
Okay. Yeah, because it's not matched by aggression elsewhere. So
yeah, exactly.
Fall 1904. Matt Shields, you're up.
Fall 1904. Turkey is finally making some good progress this time. Bounces in Bulgaria, so that was aggression. Russia comes back to Romania, maybe to help, maybe just to cover Romania. Austria's not doing anything.
Yeah.
That's interesting that the move to Bulgaria is practically the only move. Ooh, yeah, I don't love that. Austria needs to pick a direction and go. Russia.
They were in Ruhr and Munich.
Yeah.
This turn.
Or already in Burgundy, which they had a chance to be in.
Yep.
This is
stand up and Brest seems unnecessary, but okay, sure. I guess leave it open for the build. I guess that's maybe what's going on there.
And then what happens up here? We've got an exchange of centers. It looks, or no, Russia just takes it.
Yeah, it looks like Russia takes Sweden and St. Peter Norway,
yes. Right? Sweden is piffed, and Russia is both Norway and Sweden.
Retreats off
Germany. The German and Denmark supported that. It looks like.
You must have.
Yeah.
So okay, it's a triple support of Norway into Sweden, which overwhelms the the power of 2 support of Sweden into Norway, which allows St. Petersburg without support to get into Norway.
And this is classic Bill Hackenbracht. Germany takes Holland with support from Russia, so Germany stays on 2, and those 2 fleets might as well be colored purple.
Yep.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then here's what we got for builds. Whoa! Bill Hackenbracht laying down the pipes.
Yeah.
And Turkey on the being like, guess what? Yeah, no. Very easy for Turkey to build an army there and then be like, I'm screwed.
Yeah, this is a savvy build. Very interesting play from all 3 in the East, all 3 of these people. And France looks like the 4th. Any reason not to think this is headed for a 4-way draw? FART. Excuse my.
Your England report.
Gosh. I feel like you could squeeze Austria out of this if you wanted to, but I don't know if they'll want to put the work in.
Yes, nice one. This one we can also finish to completion. Yes.
This is Bill Hackenbracht in Russia.
Oh, Hackenbracht and Pollock. That's right.
Right, and Hackenbracht drops the fleet, and Turkey counters with its own fleet. So, spring 1904. Vaughn, what do you say?
Okay, we were giving Dan some grief about turning around, but not aggressively enough. So he loses Munich. He didn't have to, but he did. Retreats to Bohemia. Fine. Moves back. Oh God, Dan, what is your plan here?
I think he's just trying to protect himself. I don't think he's thinking offensively, which is a mistake.
I think we're at this point in the game, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean it to come across the way it's going to. And I love you, Dan. I'm sorry.
You want to take a second to think about that?
No. Someone has it on their bingo board that they need to hear me apologize to someone I'm about to criticize. Dan, right. I love you. This is mid-game. And this is not where we get cautious. You actually have and had an amazing position, and you're ruining it with your inaction. And I am you are better than this, but I want to see better from you.
Probably
Well, what would you-
tired, right? It's been a long day.
Yeah. Well, it's also the fact that it's been a long day. Did he play both rounds?
Yep, he played this morning.
Yeah. So
He did
it's,
round this morning.
and playing online, I can't imagine. I'm never doing it. I love you all, but
Well, so in Dan's defense here, I think he genuinely wasn't sure which side of the RT dispute he wanted to take. And you know, if he had gone into Bulgaria here, he would have had to deal with making amends with the Turk, which would be doable. But given that Russia then moved on him in Munich, you know, he doesn't have to make amends. Now he can just get support into Romania if he wants.
sure. I'm talking like a season or two ago when there were some really safe moves on his part that would have put him in a much stronger position with a much better just board control.
Yeah, didn't we talk about him possibly being in Ruhr?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't see the top players have this many holds.
Holding.
Andrew Goff, Dave Maletsky.
Fine. But those
Not
are
me.
very special exceptions. I am no Andrew Goff. I am no Dave Maletsky.
You could get a hat.
I have many hats. We'll get there. It's they
All right,
fit my quarantine hair very well.
Fall of 1906, Chris Martin.
Let's go.
All right. Hey, he starts moving and low. In fact, he does take Romania. And Romania goes off the board, so they're retreating to Ukraine, which is a sign of some kind that these guys are getting their act back together. And nothing else moves. So that's that.
We have, I believe he gets a rebuild now because he lost Romania. Well, he actually gets two. He gets to put 2 units down here. Bill Hackenbracht in Russia picks up Denmark, picks up Munich, loses Romania.
So this is the second time this game that Bill has had more than would be expected builds, because in the very first year they piffed the fleet and he got to build 3 units.
Yep.
Andrew Goff correctly points out that if all of those units are going to move and they are not adjacent to Albania, which
They
some of
should
them are,
have moved
they should
everything to Albania. Yes, everyone go to my Twitter. You can find my handle. I tweeted the photo of Andrew moving everything to Albania. It's amazing.
All right, so Hackenbracht only puts down 1 unit here. So unless I miscounted.
No, that's it. He only gets 1 build because he's got 10 on the board.
And for those of you wondering, is there a time limit to this round? No. You play until you're done. I do know that this game does end in 2 years, though, so we should keep
Yeah.
Play this game, yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's keep moving forward. So spring 1906. Chris
Damn.
Martin.
Oh, damn.
Oh. Bill, nice moves.
Gets into Ruhr.
Yeah, man. This
And
was
gets
dynamic.
and yeah, so again we have lots of holds here.
Yep.
And
Dan is done. Dan is like, can we please have the draw? That's what Dan wants.
Yeah.
let's Turkey walk into 2 of his
Well,
down.
but I mean, there's no way that he held every unit on purpose, even if he wants the draw here.
I don't know. He's had a lot of holds, but at least some self bounces or
No,
something.
he would have done self bounces. He wouldn't have let Turkey walk into Venice and Serbia.
Write a single order there. That could have been an NMR.
That's an NMR. Dan, that's.
Well, he decides he's good enough to only move
But
in.
he takes them both back.
He only has to move in fall turns.
Just
That's,
loses all position everywhere else. All right, so
Bill clears St. Pete and Sev for builds. No, they're backing off. Look at that. Those that's a back. That's all agreed upon to get.
it's.
He puts down Fleet North Coast and
Says kill Germany, take the draw.
yep. We get 1 more turn here of movement, which is to set up a line, it looks like. And
they've all talked about this, I guarantee you. Yeah, that's where Dan is toying with us, and
This ends in a 6-way draw.
Yep.
Like this.
And what kind of draw did we learn? What kind of draw that was?
Oh, right. Did anybody? Here, I'll look
this is 1G or 2A. Sorry.
2A. Veil of Humility. That is a 4-way draw.
Okay.
Austria, France, Russia, Turkey. That seems right.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Kirk, in the comments for confirming
I don't
that.
know. England could make a case that that they could stick around here.
Kirk, do you want to tell us in the comments why you did not make that case?
Yeah, you're tough to eliminate here, Kirk.